Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. So today I'm going to be reviewing something a little bit different. We have Aliens Vampirella issue number 1. Aliens Vampirella is a 6-issue limited crossover series that came out in 2016. It was published by Dark Horse Comics and Dynamite Entertainment, and it was written by Corina Becco. It's illustrated and inked by Javier Garcia Miranda. So he did the pencils and the inks. And this is the one thing I don't like. It was colored by something called Inlight Studio. So basically the computer did the colors. And let's see, it was lettered by Simon Boland, and the cover was done by Gabriel Hardman and Jordan Boyd. So this issue does have some variant covers. It has 4 variant covers actually. So it's got the main cover and 4 variants. So I'll be showing the variant covers near the end of the video. Overall, the Dark Horse crossovers include this one, but it's preceded by Archie versus Predator, if you can believe it. The Archie comics versus Predator. And after this comes just Dark Horse Comics Aliens. Starting off, we have a pretty good cover by Gabriel Hardman and Jordan Boyd. It's centered well, and it definitely shows what the comic will be like. Personally, I wouldn't have all of the stuff in the foreground. It is relevant to this story in this issue, but it's really ugly, honestly. And it makes the Alien and Vampirella in the background when I would prefer to be able to see them better, especially Vampirella. So, just a quick warning, this book does contain some serious blood and violence, so if that bothers you, you might want to stop watching it now and maybe check out one of my Flintstones reviews. So, starting off on the first page, there are 2 guys that are running down a long hallway, and they are being chased by an alien. So they get up and they run up to a door, but it turns out it's locked and they can't get in. So on the next page, they turn around and there's a full xenomorph there standing behind them, and it's pretty gruesome. One of the guys gets exploded immediately by the alien, and the other guy takes off his hood, and it turns out he is a vampire. So he now bites the alien on the neck, but aliens are filled with acid, so the acid sprays out and it dissolves his face. So that's the first few pages. That was actually a flashback to what it happened prior to what takes place in this book. So anyways, next up we see a spaceship out in space, and it says, "Alert, proximity to Mars detected. Window for Mars Colony 1, approach confirmed." And we see it head towards the planet, and a cryogenic sleeping thing where they put you into a stasis opens up, and it's got Vampirella inside. And I really like this page. It's a good drawing of her, even though it's, you know, just part of her body, but that's good. And it's one of the very few times, I think it might be the only time in this comic you see her wearing her traditional outfit. So moving on, you see the spaceship's landing, and the people inside the space station are looking at it and talking. And it's actually kind of weak, these panels right here. I was a little disappointed when I got to this page, because everything prior to it was drawn pretty well. And this isn't terrible, but like, especially if you can see the bottom panel, it's just 4 people's faces with the background's just like a gray background, and the walls and stuff, it's just like some windows and probably 3D modeling. You know, it's very lazily drawn, and the faces really aren't that detailed or anything either. It's fortunate that each of the characters is a different race and has a different hair color, so that makes it easier to tell them apart. Okay, so Vampirella gets off, and for some reason she's wearing this full body jumpsuit, base suit thing. And I know that's most people, if they're going to buy a Vampirella comic, it's probably because they want to look at Vampirella. She's very curvy, you know. Her normal outfit that she runs around in is like a string bikini, basically. So, a sling bikini, that's what they're called. Anyways, so she gets off and she's wearing her jumpsuit, like, I don't know, like an astronaut or something, I guess. And she gets off and she's talking to the guys on the space station, and they're all really nervous. They're nervous about her because she's a vampire, but they're also nervous about what's been going on the space station. And the next page kind of introduces they're all introduced. They each have, you know, generic names, and they're all on a first name basis. So there's like Dave and Sue and stuff. It doesn't even matter. They tell her a little bit about what's going on, and they want her to check it out because they found basically an ancient base beneath their space base, and they have it sealed off. So they go up to it, the door, and they open it up, and they ask her, like, because they're all bundling up, it's really cold where they're going to be going, and they're like, do you want one of these pressure suits? And she says, no, the cold doesn't bother me. So then why are you wearing a full body jumpsuit? You know? Alright, so moving on, they go through, they open up the door, and she's checking things out. She sees some ancient writing and is kind of looking at it, and they ask her to come with them a little further, and they show her all these old vampires that are like stuck into the walls, and she says that they were put there, that they didn't just die. And then one of the walls collapses, and they go over to inspect it, and they look inside, and there's all those weird pod things that you saw on the cover, and they're like, what are those? Do you know what they are, Vampirella? And she doesn't know, and they're all kind of looking at them, and then they're like, geez, maybe we should get out of here. So they start to leave, and then as you can see on this page, they get attacked by the little face hugger things from Alien, and those are pretty horrible, and they jump on a couple of them, including Vampirella, and one gets her, actually. So apparently she and another person are unconscious for a few hours. You get this weird page where it's when she's waking up, and that's what she sees, I assume. It's pretty disturbing. And you go to the next page, and it's her. She's woken up, and she's sitting up, and the face huggers are off them, and they ask what happened. And the guy says they were passed out for a few hours, and then the face huggers fell off of them, and he kicked them away, and they woke up. So now they're all arguing because they have been sealed in, because the base is worried about the aliens spreading and there being an infection. And some of the people start coughing. They're all coughing, and you see Vampirella's coughing there. And on the last page, you get a full splash page, it's pretty gross, of an alien bursting out of Vampirella. And I guess these ones must be in your lungs, because normally they burst out of your stomach, I thought. I don't really know. But in any case, they were coughing, and this is clearly coming out of her chest. So that's pretty disgusting. I guess it's well drawn. So then we get the credit page. It shows everybody who worked on it. And that's it. That's Vampirella, or that's Aliens Vampirella issue 1. It was okay. I'll probably check out issue 2, see if she takes her jumpsuit off. Let's see, we'll check out the extra covers. There are 4 of them, and there's the 2 variant covers that are colored, and then there are 2 that aren't colored, and the 2 that aren't colored were for different conventions. They were convention exclusives. I forget which. Oh yeah, it says on them. So the one where it's Vampirella by herself, that's for the New York Comic-Con last year, and so is this colored one where she's crouching down. So these were all for, there's 1 variant cover, and then the other 3 were for Comic-Cons. And the one that's just the Xenomorph, that was for the Baltimore Comic-Con, which must be pretty big. I hear about it from time to time. So, I guess that's all for now. Let me know what you think. You like these kind of reviews? You know, I checked out something that wasn't DC, and was a little more mature than what we've been reviewing, so cool. As always, thanks for watching, and if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe.
End of line.